Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing and football selections for Sunday, the 27th of October. Well, I should be celebrating like there's no tomorrow. Um, a fantastic day on Saturday, and you will see by the thumbnail with a man with a head in his hands. We'll say that's me. I'm frustrated to the back teeth, let's say. So I went against what I normally do. I'm normally adamant on having extra places, even if it's detriment to the prices. So I thought, well, I'll go to bet 365 because I cannot back Barry's Boy at 10 to 1, which it was on Sky Bet when it was available. It was available, first of all, at 33 to 1 with Bet 365 because I missed that and it was 20s. So I placed one of the 10 pence each way lucky 63s on Bet 365, knowing that in the 350 and the 425 at Doncaster, it was paying, Bet 365 was, one place less. So let me very quickly talk you through. So this is how it started. Wallbank 25 to 1 placed. Mr. Allen, 18 to 1, placed. Barry's Boy, 4th. Bet365 paying out first 3. Sky Bet paying out first 4. So we'd have got, I don't know what price it ended up in the end, Barry's Boy, but I think it was about 10s. So the next race was Barradar. So in our Sky Bet, it came placed, but on the Bet365 bet, it came 6th, paying first 5. If we'd have placed this bet, like I said, on Sky Bet, 6th would have been good enough. And then the last two, as you're well aware, won. But this is it would have adjusted the return slightly. We had one more, no more. That won at eights. That was Bet365 was 8 to 1. You can feel free to check the video yourself. And Lowton was 9 to 1, and they both won. It returned £59 in the end. But if I'd have placed that bet on Sky Bet with the extra place in the Barry's Boy and the Barradar race, which would have then made it so that they actually came in the places, it would have returned exactly what you see on the thumbnail, and that would have been £1,349 and 55 pence. It doesn't quite make sense, the thumbnail. Sorry, and 57 pence. So we had a very good day yesterday. I'm not knocking it too much. I'm not crying into my cornflakes or anything like that. I don't eat cornflakes, by the way, because I don't drink milk. But anyway, that's another story. So let me get on to Sunday selections. Well, it's absolutely dreadful. So what I've had is, obviously, it's with Sky Bet. I did not back with Sky Bet. I've had a 10 pence each way, lucky 15, taking all the prices. I've had a 10 pence each way, lucky 15, taking one of the prices, and I think I've left the rest to SP. So I'll skim through it. I've also had a football bet, and I've reverted back to how I normally have the football bet, not on a regular basis because I do like the so many goals start. But I will tell you the teams very quickly because I haven't actually placed it yet. So just give me 1 second. I think I can tell you briefly. I think it's all the 2 o'clock kickoffs, the Premier League 2 o'clock kickoffs. So I'm just on the screen now. So yes. So what I'm having is I'm having £7 over 2.5 goals treble and a £3 over 3.5 goals treble. The matches are Chelsea versus Newcastle, Crystal Palace versus Tottenham, and West Ham versus Man U. The dodgiest one for me is the West Ham versus Man U. West Ham is shocking, and Man U, who knows who's going to turn up. I was tempted to put the Arsenal-Liverpool game, but I've just left it. I think Arsenal will win. So that is the football bet. So forget the Arsenal mention. It's the first 3 teams that all kick off at 2 o'clock. I'm having them in a £7 over 2.5 goal treble and a £3 over 3.5 goal treble. So let's get to the horse racing because nobody's here for the football apart from me. So, so it's, as I said, it's 10 pence each way, look 15, taking all the prices, 10 pence each way, lucky 15, only taking the price of Paris Encore and leaving all the rest to SP. And I've also had 50p each way singles. So the total bet for the day comes to £20. The horse racing comes to £10. So let me get into it. So the first selection is Paris Encore at 15 to 2 in the 115 at Aintree, paying 3 places instead of 2. So I'd love to start explaining why I picked these horses because, well, unfortunately, it was an hour ago since I picked this one. I do believe there are a number of horses in this race that have never ran over chase fences. I believe because of this horse's fitness, it's able to race prominently, but also run over further, and its preference for pretty much good ground. I think this horse has got a cracking chance at the price to come in the first three of a seven-runner field. I think you've got three horses in this race, all towards the top end of the market, that have never ran over chase fences. I am not going to say that they won't handle them, but I'm saying when push comes to shove, their jumping will be tested. And you've got Paris Encore, who's a decent performer, but I do believe long term that probably the three horses above it in the market are probably the more progressive horses. But we're betting on today, and I think this horse could minimum reach the frame, and hopefully it's got a good chance of winning. Yeah, conditions are in its favour. The second selection is Five Star Getaway at 17 to 2 in the 225 at Aintree, paying three places instead of two. I think Christian Williams has got two horses in this race. He's got Cab du Nord and this one. So it's likely a race. It's not ran for 500 and something days. Christian Williams, it's been on several documentaries where he likes to run them on the beach and walk through streams. I think there's probably a lot of trainers doing that, but he is well known for freshening horses up. I'm wondering why they're bringing this horse back. Clearly, they're bringing it back, in my opinion, for these veteran handicap chasers. Well, this is one of them. Obviously, I think it'll be given a quiet race. It'll be brought into it. I think it'll be given a very gentle introduction, but I'm hoping that because it looks very well handicapped because it's not ran before, they've dropped it quite a bit in the weights because it was also a little bit on the decline at times in some of its latter races before it had the break. I find it interesting that the owner has now got sole ownership. I think his name's Mike something, but that doesn't make any difference whatsoever. It used to be used to own in conjunction with another owner. That owner doesn't own it anymore, and this guy owns it by himself. So I'm thinking that the trainers maybe said, right, I think there's still a bit of something left. Maybe one of the owners says, well, I'm not bothered. You go alone, mate. And I'm just thinking that's it. And I think this horse could hopefully run a place. It's got some patches of decent form, and I think that form, if it comes back nice and freshened up with you know what I mean, like a bit of a fresh attitude, like a lot of these horses have been running for a while. Well, this horse, I think it's only had 19 starts over rules races. Well, a lot of the others, I saw one of them. I think it was Captain Orders had 50 something. So this is also relatively fresh still. Like I don't really want to call 10-year-olds unexposed, but there's probably still a bit of something left in the tank. So I find it interesting. Don't get me wrong, it might clout the first fence and get pulled up. I don't know. But I find it interesting. It may well drift in price, but we've got it at SP as well. The third selection is Got Grey at 9 to 1 in the 335 at Aintree, paying four places instead of three. I think this horse could potentially have been aimed for this race. It used to be trained by a trainer called Helen Nelms. I'm guessing she's not had too many horses. Nothing against the trainer, but when you send a horse to Dan Skelton, you're guessing he's probably got the facilities, even if that horse is just in his hands for a week, to probably improve this horse or to get a massively different kind of training style into it. Well, when it got hold of it, I don't think it did a great deal to start off with. But then it won two, and it's ran two a little bit, you could say, disappointing, but I don't think they were. I think they were racers run over courses that wouldn't suit it or suit its style. And if I want to say now, I believe those two runs were just keeping it ticking over for this race. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this horse is desperately shouting out that it wants 2 mile 4 furlong. But if you're going to get it, you're going to get it at Aintree on good ground. Get the distance, that is. So I think this horse will be given a typical Skelton ride. I think this horse will be ridden fast asleep at the back and come with a late run. I think those two most recent runs at Market Raisin held up. It said held up, steady headway, no match for. I think it said no match for first two or no match for winner. That basically tells me that it was held up, came with a late run and left with too much to do, which is probably about right. The last run, it was in touch. Well, don't get me wrong, in touch doesn't make a difference to this horse because um, it's won its two races by being in touch. But it ran at Hexham and it made a move going up the hill. Well, if you go up that hill, you're going to be blowing out your backside, and there's no wonder you're weak and going onto the running, which it did. So I'm thinking it was given a bit of a blowout at Hexham. Dan Skelton doesn't send many horses to Hexham, so I'm thinking there might just be fitness tests. So it was racing prominently. Um, it basically weakened once it had hit the hill, and I'm thinking that for a horse that probably on these tough undulating course, I know it's a sharp track, but it's also a very undulating track, Hexham, and I'm thinking that it would not have liked the track whatsoever, and the Market Race and Run, it basically was given too much to do. So I think fitness is improved. I do think it'll just about get 2 mile 4, but you will see him hanging on to this horse, in my opinion, till the last second. I just hope he's listening to this video for the riding instructions. And the final selection is American Land at 11-2 in the 352 at Wincanton, paying 5 places instead of 3. I probably made a mess up taking the price of this one. 11-2 is probably stingy, but as I said, in a bet further down, which I will show you, I do believe I've left it to SP. It's Joe Tizard. It's had a recent run. It ran well over, I think, inadequate 1 mile 7 furlongs at Wincanton. And this horse is running again at Wincanton, but over 2.5 mile. This is more to its liking, but I don't quite trust the Joe Tizard stable just yet. And that's not a cop out from me. I'm tipping it, so I fancy it. But I just don't get the angle of his horses yet. I used to be able to read Colin Tizard pretty well. But I'm never on the right side of the Joe Tizard horses at the moment. So I do like the look of it. It's one of the more progressive horses in the race. It's a poor race, and I think it's got every chance. I think the Tizards don't train too far from Wincanton anyway. Could be wrong. The geography is not great, but anyway. So as I said, this is the bet for. I'll show you the rest of it. So there's the singles, and there's the left to SP apart from Paris Encore, which I don't think Paris Encore can get much bigger, to be honest. 7 runner race, and this is the second outsider in that race. So I wish the very best of luck. I've left my Buy Me a Coffee link in the description if anybody wants to treat me to a coffee, no sugar, sorry, coffee, 1 sugar, bright please. So I wish the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.